Hi, Steve Draper here in my workshop in Bellevue, Nebraska. Thought I'd talk to you a little bit about what I've been working on since the last couple of videos. I've been working on making a clamp that will work in the slot, the T-slot we can use on the table or up here on the fence. Now, Shopsmith already has some options available for you to do some clamping. You notice right now I've got this set up for doing some overhead routing. I didn't talk about that when I did the video on clamping, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit more today because I had something that came up that I had not anticipated when I was doing this particular operation. This is the prototype I did. What I'm trying to do here is I'm creating 10 duplicates of this, but with the next iteration, which is going to have some changes on it. First one will be this will be recessed so that the knob will fit down inside there a little bit, and I can get a little bit more height off of it when I'm putting it on stock. This has ledges on it for doing different thicknesses of stock. The next one, I'm not going to need to have 5 ridges. I'll only need to have 2 ridges, I've realized, so I don't have to have as much adjustment. So, but in any case, what I was talking about on some options that Shopsmith already has in place for you, that is this accessory here, which is the fence that can do some vertical pressure on your stock. As you can see, it slides right onto the top T-slot of your fence on your rip fence. And now this fence here normally would go in your slot on the table, but my stock is too wide, it's not going to fit in there. So on this particular application, that's why you see me having it clamped here. So any stock that's from here, all the way out to here, I don't have any other option to put a feather bore on here other than using these C-clamps here. So the other options I have for the clamp is I haven't decided on the knob yet. This is a knob that comes with your T-bolts if you get that set. And this is another option you can get from Shopsmith for knobs for those. This one used to be offered by Shopsmith. It's not offered anymore. I got this one from Woodcraft, and it would fit down there also. So after I work with a little bit, I'll decide which one I want to use on the final one. But what I wanted to talk to you about that came up that was unanticipated is this fence moving on me while I was doing the operation. And I was doing the operation like it's recommended in the Power Tool Woodworking for Everyone book and also in your instruction manual. And that is when you're doing routing operations, don't do a depth anymore of about a maximum of a 1/4 inch at a time. And that's how I did. I did all of these slots that way, and they were working great. And then I realized, this motor is not bogging down at all. It just did not 1 iota change in speed below the 9,000 RPM that I had that set at going. And so I decided as I was going along to get a little bit more bold, say, well, let's see what this thing will really do. And so I decided to do a full depth cut of 13/16, go all the way through in one shot. And this did not bog down at all. I mean, this Power Pro has plenty of power to do that stuff. But I'll show you what happened on that particular cut. This is what happened on that cut. But the cut itself, boy, it's smooth, perfectly smooth on the sides. I had no trouble doing that full depth cut on the Power Pro. And now you'll say, well, how in the heck did that get that curve like that? Well, it wasn't from the quill or anything moving. The force on that bit, let me get another bit here so I can show you what I'm talking about. when you feed that through, your bit is turning in this direction and it's putting force against the board this way, pushing it in that direction, which is what you want. You want it to hold it against your fence. Even though I have this here to hold it against the fence, I still want the action of the bit to be pushing against the fence. It did a great job, but when you're doing a full depth cut, that force was so extreme that it moved this fence that was locked down tightly that way about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. And that's why I got that crooked cut in there. Now, since then, I've realized that what I need to do is exactly what I showed you on horizontal boring, and that is have a board in that table slot. If you come around here, look at the side here, so you can show you what I'm talking about. Here, where I've got the board in the back side of the fence here, and it's down inside the table slot. Had I done that, which I did not do, that fence would not have shifted like that. And you'll notice on the table itself, I've got stop collars on this side, and I've got a stop collar back on the other side. So the table itself couldn't shift because of the stop collars there, but it was the fence itself that shifted because of not having that down inside of there. Okay. So the other thing I'll show you, probably notice I did not have this on the back side, which normally I would have that mounted on the back side for protection. And actually, it's just there to contain chips when you're doing your dust collection. But when you're doing one that's all the way that deep with the fence, there's insufficient room for that to be on the back side to do that deeper cut with the fence. So that's why that has been removed on this particular occasion. Another thing I thought I'd show you is, you notice that I have these stops. These are available from Shopsmith. I've got the fence extension out here, which gets an extension out this way. And then this is an extension that will go out on this end. So I have a stop here, I have a stop at the opposite end, which is a flip-up stop. You get these from Shopsmith. So that gets me my left stop, and this gets me my right stop, so that when I'm doing my cut, I start it out here, I do my depth of cut, which is about 1/4 inch there, I lock it, and then we go ahead and do the cut, and it's automatically stopped right exactly where it needs to because I've got to stop on the other end. Then I would retract this, we'll go back, and now I will do my next depth, a little bit deeper, and do it probably in 3 passes till you all the way through. So that's the way you do these on normal occasions. And so I'm going to tell you, the reason that they have in the manuals not to do more than 1/4 inch depth, if you're doing some really wide cuts, maybe an 1/8 inch, is because on the traditional headstock, this one over here, your conventional headstock, that just doesn't have the power to do those deeper cuts, and that motor will bog down. But this Power Pro, it has the power, you can do it. But if you want to get a good quality cut and not have those excessive forces, then you probably ought to limit your depth of cuts there on the overhead routing to the 1/4 inch, just like they recommend. The only downside of doing them in steps is, and I'll show you here. If you notice on my cuts here, not all of them are exactly as smooth as that other cut I showed you. Let's see if I can find one here. This one here, this cut here, if you could see the sides here, you could see the actual steps when you do it that way. And but you know, if that's not critical to you, it's not a big deal. So Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Steve Draper, Bellevue, Nebraska. Subscribe.